to wake up and be like, oh, John Mayer shared my post. Like, that's so exciting. I like that every day's different. There's like all these like unexpected thrills. Like, that's really fun.
Did that happen?
Yeah, John Mayer's a big fan.
Guys, 25 Months is a podcast for creators and aspiring creators, so you all know how important that like and subscribe button is, so please smash it for us.
We have a very special guest on today. A different type of guest, because we usually had TikTokers, primarily TikTokers, but this person is blowing up somewhere else. But this week we have Annie Rauwerda, the sole person behind the comedic Instagram account Depths of Wikipedia. If something is weird or obscure, then it probably has a Wikipedia article, and Annie's gone through the rabbit hole to find it and share it with you. In just a year, she's gotten over 300,000 followers on Instagram and has translated the success into a podcast and recently launched a newsletter. Pumped to talk to you. We were just talking kind of off camera, but you're the first guest where like Jack and I don't really know personally. Like the other guests like we've had some back and forth with, which I'm super excited because I love meeting new people. And I think like what you're doing especially is so interesting. It's so different from the realm that Jack and I are in. That like I'm gonna learn so much.
Like someone who grew on Instagram,
yeah,
you know, like that is hard.
Yeah,
like Instagram is notorious being the worst platform for growth. So like the fact that you made it is just like wild to me.
Anyway, I just want to remind you, Annie, like this podcast is named 25 months because we found a statistic that showed that the average career span of a content creator is around 25 months. So we like to talk to creators to really understand how we can ensure longevity with you, assuming you want to be a content creator past 2 years. Do you want to be a content creator?
See, okay, that's a great question because I have been thinking about this podcast, the whole 25-month premise, and the whole idea of like helping people like continue their careers longer than 25 months seems to be something that you guys care about. And that's great.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I'm sure we'll get into it more, but I see content creation as not a destination. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be Depths of Wikipedia forever. And I feel like if, you know, so after 25 months, I'm not like popping off on the internet. If I'm doing something else, that's great. Like if I use that as a stepping stone, I still consider it a success. So I don't know. I think it's very possible that I will stay in this realm for longer, but I think I don't like stay up at night worried that all my followers are going to stop caring about me in 25 months because I don't know if I'm going to be a creator forever, and I'm okay with it.
No, I think that's cool. I think that's really interesting because first of all, that's pretty nice not have to like that you don't have that stress because I think Jack and I have a mental breakdown at least once a week about where our followers are at. But go ahead, Jack.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was going to say it's strange. You're the first guest who like has kind of accepted death in a way, you know. It's like just make the most of the 25 months. I'm gonna leverage it into like what I want to do, but like inevitably it's gonna happen, you know. And that's super cool that's the way you feel about it because like there's no like dread, like say Tejas and I have like no stress about it. So like when did you first start considering yourself a creator, if you even do consider yourself a creator?
So I started the Instagram page Depths of Wikipedia in quarantine, like early phase of quarantine. Everyone was like making bread and doing projects. And I don't know, I loved Wikipedia. I was in a Facebook group that talked about fun Wikipedia articles. I wanted to make some Instagram account that had like more shareable, like bite-sized content. And it didn't exist. And it kind of took off after a few months. I still was working full-time. Like I'm a student full-time right now. I've never like really compromised work or school in a serious way for social media. So it's often hard for me to label myself as a creator because in my life, if someone asks me, what am I would say I'm a student, or I would say before, like I'm like a research assistant or whatever. So I guess I definitely do consider myself a creator at this point, but I don't think I would have said that until I started moving off of the Instagram platform, because at that point I was like, okay, I have a podcast, a newsletter, and a TikTok, and this is like a lot of work. So I'm definitely a creator. But when I was just shit posting is very different. Like you just screenshot and throw it into the void. Whereas TikTok, like you're like making art kind of. So
for sure.
I would say maybe like 6 months ago.
So when did you start seeing, like when did the ball start really rolling?
There was one night where I turned my phone off. I was with my friends, and earlier in the day, I had posted some things that were critical of the influencer Caroline Calloway, and I tagged her. Didn't think a single thing of it. And then I logged into my phone again. It was like 4 a.m. I'd had a crazy night, and I had 6,000 followers, and before I had 1,000. So I was like, I was like not totally in like my best like headspace at the time, based on the events of the night. And I was like, this cannot be real. Like I was freaking out. I was like going through and making sure that I didn't say anything that was like gonna get me, I don't know, like canceled or kicked out of college or anything like terrible. Not that I thought there was anything there. But yeah, so basically Caroline Calloway posted about me because she was like, this account has beef with me and I don't know why. So then I like made things right with her. She became like one of my biggest fans, and she shared a bunch of posts about me. So then in that week, which is probably 2 months after I made the account, I got like maybe like 15,000 followers.
That's insane. Wow. So that's how okay. I've always think about like, what is the strategy on Instagram to grow? And I guess that's one of them, right? Like to have someone much larger just come in, right? Yeah. And like interact with stuff. That's really cool. I don't know the first thing about growing Instagram accounts.
I feel like I see a bunch of strategies. Like I see people that make really funny comments. They just have post notifications on like all of the Fuck Jerry accounts, all of the big meme accounts, and they're funny and they're really quick. And then there's also people that mass follow, and then there's also people that will tag celebrities or big accounts trying to get noticed. So I feel like...
Have you done like, I know a big strategy for meme pages is just like paying for other meme pages to shout them out, or maybe doing like shout out for shout out. Like, did you ever do anything like that?
I've seen so many shout groups. I've been asked to join. I just never did. I thought they were kind of cringy.
Yeah.
Which they're not always. Sure. I just felt like it was fun to be in my own lane and I didn't need it.
Yeah.
So it's all organic. Have you utilized like any other features of Instagram besides just like the static images and like the captioning? Like, have you done like any like video? Have you done any like IGTV?
So funny that you say this. So Facebook just announced that they're giving $2 billion to creators to compete with TikTok. And so they're rolling that out in different ways. But they told me that I can have $500 if I get 300 views on a reel. So I was like, okay, I'll post one reel. So if you're a writer and you want to make a fictional character that's very similar to someone in real life, but you don't want to get sued, make the character have a super small penis, because no one wants to claim, oh, that character with a really small penis, like, that's me. I mean, I got the view count that I needed, but I haven't seen the money yet.
300?
300,000.
Oh, 300. Okay. I thought, did you hear 300 too? I was like,
I might make a reel.
Oh my gosh, wow. I may be a woman in STEM, but I don't know how to count.
That's so, well, actually, speaking of that, what were you doing before this Instagram account? You said woman in STEM. Like, who are you?
Oh, well, I go to University of Michigan. I study neuroscience. I've also taken a lot of data science classes. I really like, I don't know, the science world, science communications.
So in short, you're a nerd.
A little bit. Closeted nerd. Not closeted. No. I think I'm a publicly nerd.
You have, at this point.
You go through...
You run an Instagram called Depths of Wikipedia. You know, like at a certain point, you have to own it. Like I own it on my page. You know, it's like educational content.
Yeah.
I mean, Tejas, you're kind of a nerd in yourself too.
100%. 100%. I try not to say it. Like whenever I see other Instagram or like other creators that are like just fully embrace the creator economy, I try to stray away from that. Just because like business people too are just like, I don't know. I try not to be that. That's why I'm adding more lifestyle into me. But have you seen any of that help you with social media? You said data science, which I'm really interested to see. Like, are you really like, how's that affected how you built your accounts?
So my data science classes are just like going in R, like making these like graphs about like crazy data, which is like a skill in itself, but I don't do that for Instagram. It's not really possible. Like the data behind like Facebook, Instagram's engine is like pretty opaque. Like you can't like analyze that. So I do like definitely check my analytics within the Instagram app like a lot, like 4 times a day. But I don't really do anything with it. I just like to stay up to date. But I feel like TikTok doesn't have as good of analytics, right?
Oh, no.
Compared to Instagram, not at all. No. YouTube is the best. I'll be honest there.
Yeah.
Instagram is decent. TikTok,
YouTube
like,
is insane.
what did they give you? 3 things, like male, female, age, and like watch time.
Okay.
Like that's about
That's
it.
basically what TikTok is. Dude, growing on Instagram is so crazy. Especially you said like in a year, and to see what you've seen. Does it feel crazy to you? I feel like you're looking, you're like, yeah, this is just my life now.
You know, it's definitely very crazy. Whenever I do anything that like shows my face, like then I'll just get so many DMs being like, oh my gosh, like
yeah.
I thought you were gonna be a neckbeard incel, and it's like, nope, like I'm a 21-year-old girl, like
Neckbeard incel.
That's so crazy.
But yeah, it's growing on Instagram's crazy. There's definitely no like quick hack. Also, it's interesting to me moving to TikTok because on Instagram, grid light is so important. Like you just have to like look cool when people first click on your page. Like, you have to look together, I feel like.
Yeah.
And so I have
No,
this
I
like
agree.
kind of minimalist layout, and I like will not ever stray from it.
Yeah.
Whereas
yeah.
TikTok, it doesn't matter.
Nah. I noticed that too, especially like I'd love to dive into TikTok. I used to like be really apparent on what my thumbnails are. Jack, you're pretty big on like TikTok thumbnails.
Yeah, I'm really big on it.
I've
Ooh.
noticed when scrolling like another account, like if I were to go to your account, the first thing I look at, like the TikToks I click on, are which ones have the most view count. Views,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So like I'm not looking at the thumbnail. So I guess the question for you, Annie, is like, okay, why TikTok then? You're growing on Instagram. Why put effort into TikTok?
That's a really good question. I just felt like TikTok was popping. TikTok has like the best, I don't know, opportunity to go viral than any other app, really, it seems.
100%.
And I just didn't want to miss the boat. I also feel like Instagram's getting older. Instagram seems kind of millennial. My followers are mostly males that are 25 to 35. And I was like,
Oh,
okay,
wow.
so these are followers that have like purchasing power, but definitely not like trend-setting cool power. So I just
Okay.
wanted to like try my hand at TikTok.
That's so interesting. And how'd that go? Like kind of beginning TikTok.
It's fun. I mean, like I just respect all of you TikTokers so much, because compared to my little like shit post while I'm waiting in line at the gas station or whatever, like Instagram account, TikTok has a lot of work. Like I have to like put that on my to-do list. So I think my biggest struggle with TikTok right now is motivation, but it's been great. Like I've had a couple TikToks that have gotten like, I don't know, I had one that got almost 10 million views last month, or like a bunch of them have gotten to 1 million.
Was it the Barney one?
Barney one. So if you went to elementary school in the 2000s, you might have had the same experience where you would run around your elementary school playground singing just exceptionally dark and disturbing things about Barney. Like, I love you, you love me, let's get together and kill Barney with a baseball bat and a bullet to the head. Sorry, kids, but Barney's dead. Also, joy to the world, Barney's dead, we barbecued his head. Don't worry about the body, we flushed it down the potty, round and round it goes. Anyway, it's enough of a thing that there's a Wikipedia article about it and a lot of in-depth analysis.
Tejas, do you know what that is?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Explain what that is, Eddie.
Tejas, did you go to elementary school in the U.S.?
I did.
So I feel like many, many, many people had this same experience. You have to tell me if any of these songs sound familiar. I'm not going to sing them. I'm just going to say them. But they do have tunes.
Okay.
You have to sing them.
No. I hate...
Wait, are we okay.
Ready? I
Go ahead,
hate you, you hate me.
Of course.
Let's get together and kill Barney with a baseball bat and a bullet to the head. Sorry, kids, but Barney's dead. Just
I know the
depraved things about Barney. We were 7 years old, running around,
know
singing
the
like a
tune.
Ring Around the Rosie, and then also singing about just like, killing Barney violently. Also, the rumors are all unfounded. Barney never had drugs in his tail. Barney never got fired for swearing on air. Like, this was just the craziest rumor. And the things that I think is so mind-blowing about it is that we were 7 and 8. Like, we were not hearing these things on TV, on social media. Like, this was spreading word of mouth. Like, this is like OG virality. Like, how in the world did that work? So, yeah, it definitely intrigued many people on TikTok because it made me get, like, a lot of followers.
I can't imagine the comment section on that TikTok.
It was like, you can't
That was
read it
probably
too
so
long,
funny.
otherwise you just lose all faith in humanity when you're realizing that we're teaching our children to just kill all their cartoon characters.
Oh my gosh. That's I love how animated you are when you were telling us about that. You're very passionate about early on dark Barney humor.
it's just so crazy that like we all did it and then we all forgot about it.
I guess like coming back to social media, like who are some of your influences?
I wanted to be an Instagram account that posted pictures of texts. And I think that while that trend has kind of popped off recently, like Taylor Lorenz wrote in the New York Times about like basically like shitpost accounts. There wasn't as much of that a year and a half ago, but there was this one that I remember, and it was called Free Movie Ideas. It still exists. And they just post like random 2-sentence long like movie plots, and the guy that makes it is like, please steal these. So that was kind of my role model, I guess. The point about specificity is interesting because I feel like on Twitter in the past few months there have been so many gimmick accounts that have like a hyper specific focus, and then just like funny posts. Like I feel like that is definitely a trend that's on the up, at least in my opinion.
No, I mean even trying like creators like us, I think a lot of creators blow up because they have this specific niche, right? Especially on TikTok too. Like you know them for something. You follow someone because of like a specific reason. And then I know you're not interested in like making like a personal brand out of this in the future. Maybe you are. We'll get to it. But once you have something, that's when you have to like make them start like fall in love with your personality. That's how you kind of get to that. All right, I'm gonna be creative for life. Like anything I do, I can make a TikTok or an Instagram post about, and I'll get like hundreds of thousands of likes or views just because people are in it for me now.
It makes me think of the kombucha girl who had that one video being like, "What if? Just kidding, unless." And then she hosted the TikTok New Year's Eve countdown. It's like, wow,
Crazy.
She really popped off of that one tiny viral moment.
Do you get recognized at school? Do a lot of people?
Yeah,
know you for,
I did. I went. So in New York, I one time got recognized on the subway from the Barney TikTok. That was crazy. She was like, "Oh, are you that Barney girl?" And I was like, "I guess this is who I am to 10 million people.
Barney
That's
girl.
all they know about me. Like this Barney girl." And then at school, I came, and yeah, I definitely have like had people at parties be like, "Oh, like you're the Depths of Wikipedia girl." And I'm better. I like
What's
that.
your number?
That better.
Are they cloud chasing you? That's
I don't think so. I don't know. But I did meet my boyfriend through Depths of Wikipedia, so
no way, really?
yeah.
Oh, tell us that story.
So I would get DMs often from just like these like, yeah, again, like neckbeard incel type people.
And that's your boyfriend?
No. Actually, no. And they would be like, you know, just like simpy comments, like reply guys. I feel like as a female on the internet, it doesn't really say like that much about you, the fact that you have like weird reply guy simps. Like I feel like that happens to everyone. So I was kind of like used to that. But then occasionally I would get like really cool people being like, "Hey Annie, like do you ever want to hang out or whatever?" And so I definitely had a few like great dates from Instagram people, and one of them ended up working out.
So people know who you are on Instagram?
Yeah,
Oh,
So
because you
in
have
your
your
bio.
you have your
I have it in my
personal
bio.
tag,
They'll
yeah.
like look at
Yeah.
me. They'll, I guess, decide that they're interested or be like quarantine lonely or whatever and shoot their shot. And
Wait,
it works.
wait,
It works a
yeah.
lot of the time.
So you just said like the types of DMs you get are from like random neckbearded incels and then people that are cool. How do you know if someone's cool on Instagram? Like,
It's
how do you know
so
they're
easy to tell. Like it's so easy to
Oh,
tell.
really?
Like neckbeard incels. I hope that's not offensive. But like I guess
Keep
just
going
like
with it.
They're incels. Like, who are we to protect?
I think the people on Instagram that I am just vehemently uninterested in, you can tell right away from their Instagram because they often have like less than 50 followers. They have either no pictures of themselves or extremely old pictures of themselves. They often have no pictures at all.
Dudes, listen
Like
up.
it's just like if it's like a burner account or just like something that's like creepy vibes,
Yeah.
like lots of very blurry pictures of like ugly scenery, like then it's just like you're clearly like not putting that
Like
much
I love how
effort in.
she's-
a photo that you could tell someone took like on their phone. It's like really close up, and they're like this. Like,
Or like
I love how
screenshots
you're
of
really-
chuggy memes. Like it's just very easy to tell.
or like a picture of their cat on their bed.
Yeah, so you guys are
like
all
really
like
bad
just
lighting.
picturing like I know you guys are all picturing in a specific account. I can tell like you're describing that you have one in mind that's so funny. But
Just like a weird uncle
yeah.
type vibe. Yeah. Much older. Much old. Like always like 40s, 50s. Like
Yeah.
So you said you went on a couple dates from this, and then you found your boyfriend.
yeah, I haven't been on the apps in months. Like I just get enough like I was getting enough like people DMing that was great. That was amazing. But yeah, my boyfriend reached out. I think he just was like he like did an emoji at one of my stories or something, and I remember thinking like, oh, he's so cute. So I responded like, haha, like so funny or some like really random thing. And we started chatting. And then he was like, Annie, like, do you ever want to hang out sometime? And I was like, yeah, for sure. We went to the Museum of Natural History. And then it was crazy because like this was like right as the world was opening up. And so it was like the first time in months that anyone was able to travel. And he was like, do you want to, this is crazy, but like go on a trip next weekend after our first date? And it was so fun. And I just was like really in the mood for an adventure. So we did it. And then since then we've been dating. It's great.
Oh, thank God. I've read too many true crime stories, y'all. To hear that story, I was like,
You want to,
yes, dude,
Annie, do you want to go on a trip?
That's
So funny. Well, so, guys,
I'm glad it worked out.
the theme of that is the best slide in DM is to just respond to the story with an emoji. There you go. That's how you go.
Well, if you're actually really interested, just say something that's like very like straight to the point. If someone's getting a lot of DMs, like just be like, hey, my name is Taylor, for example. I think you're really cute. Let me know if you're free in New York sometime. I'm thinking of hitting this concert or bar or whatever.
I know like 34 like people wrote that down. You know, just like right now. Like,
no, as
notes.
someone who gets tons of DMs too, I attest to that. That's great. That's
But like I said before, the fact that I get like occasional DMs from interesting men like doesn't say anything about me because I feel like every girl on the internet has like weird.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So back to being a creator economy podcast here. You're in school right now. What does your cadence look like? What are you posting on? What are you posting on Instagram? What are you posting on TikTok? How often are you posting? How does that look like?
I post on Instagram once a day, sometimes twice a day, and occasionally if I'm feeling like in a silly goofy mood, I'll post 3 times a day. TikTok, again, like I said, it's hard for me to like get in the TikTok mindset. Like you have to like, you know, look presentable, like have like, you know, decent lighting or whatever. So I feel like I'll film videos for TikTok once or twice a week. I'll record like 3 or so at a time. And then I'll either drop them or just like put them out. And then Twitter, I try to tweet like twice a day.
Wow. Okay. When let's go to Instagram since that's your main thing, right? You say you post once a day. Do you have like a bank of content? Like how do you ideate your stuff? Like how do you find these Wikipedia articles?
I get a lot of DMs of people that submit things, which make it so fun. Because at first I was just trawling the depths of Wikipedia all the time. Yeah. And now it's more just like sorting through DMs. So that's the main way that I get new content. There's also a Reddit for Wikipedia, which has occasionally good stuff. There's a Reddit for like trivia, and a lot of the trivia facts are from Wikipedia. If I'm like stuck, I'll go there.
No, I think that's interesting, especially like we were talking. Do you know who like Joe Bartolozzi is on TikTok?
See, maybe I would recognize them, but name alone,
he's a guy
I don't know.
he's a guy in a white
he wears a beanie,
and then he just yells into he like does reaction content. So someone like his audience will tell him to react to something, like if they see something like a dumb skit on the internet or like
or same with Party Shirt, you know, like Factor Cap, they like tag them and you're like, is this Factor Cap like at Party Shirt?
Yes, I definitely know this person.
Okay, I was gonna say they have like the best process because your audience like makes the content, and like you're like that's awesome that you like your audience is tagging you and DMing you and things.
What's your process? I've always wondered that because like Jack, your like premise is like not that different from mine. It's just that I'm confined to Wikipedia. Like you have the whole world to find stories from, which is so intimidating.
I go everywhere. Like I use all social medias, like use tons of keywords. But something that I found that works, and this is like good for like any content creator that makes like talking based videos or just like talks about like a topic, like kind of like educational content. There are a couple like websites that you can type in like a keyword and like it'll generate like 40 articles or like 40 primary sources. And I use a lot of those. So I'll just like use like past videos that have done really well. And then like I'll just basically like type in my title or like type in like some similar keywords to my title, and it'll just generate like tons of content. But I've been making this stuff for like a year and a half now, and like I am running dry. Like there comes a point where you can like repurpose everything, but like I don't know. It's scary for
Do
sure.
you ever repost?
Repost
Like,
videos
say
or
you
like
had
repost
a TikTok with some crazy story a year and a half ago. It never got that many views. Would you ever consider using that story again and just telling it in a new way?
Yeah, so I found like a way to do that basically where like you can like repurpose it. Okay, here's a good example. So I did like a video like called like photos with disturbing backstories, and like one of them was like 3 girls taking a photo like by a train with a light in the background.
There's a Wikipedia article about that. I did that too.
And they got smashed by the train. But
How do you
I
not
used
know
it-
the train is coming at you? How are you taking
know,
a pic?
right?
Like
And
logistically,
somehow
how's
the
that
picture
work?
uploaded to Facebook, even though they died.
That's kind of fishy.
Fake content alert. Anyway, so I used it in that series like a year and a half ago, and then recently I rewatched that video and I was like, huh, people were like really jarred by the fact that these girls didn't hear, like 3 people didn't hear a train coming.
Yeah.
So I made a new series called like Selfies Taken Before Death, and like I used like 5 photos, and I just used that one as the first one.
Gotcha.
Because I knew that people like reacted to it, and like I had a totally new audience at this point.
That's
So
really interesting.
That's kind of my content for my like strategy for repurposing content.
How about you, Annie? Do you repost a lot? Or like re-platform, I guess?
Yeah, I re-platform a lot. If I post on Instagram these days, it's probably been first posted on Twitter. The audience is different. The things that they like are different, but it's still a good like litmus test. Like if I think something's really interesting, I always think the science and chemistry like type stuff is like really good, and then no one in the audience will because they don't have a neuroscience degree. And so like Twitter is like a good way for me to like realize like what people are interested in, and then I'll post it on Instagram.
Gotcha. I guess like one thing that I talk a lot about with my friends is, I know you've kind of pointed out on TikTok that you spend a lot more time. It kind of feels like a chore to make a TikTok. I wonder why that is. Like I know there's an account that's literally a guy that just kind of points up to a screen that has like an Instagram picture or a tweet or something, and that's like all he does. Like he doesn't say anything, he just uses the green screen sticker effect, and he just points up at the tweet, and people read the tweet and react to it as if it's an Instagram post. Like have you ever thought, like at that point you can do that at the line at the gas station? You know, have you ever thought about doing something like that?
There was a while where I experimented with just like copying my caption from Instagram, using a photo, putting it on TikTok, and then using like the automatic voice to read it out. And then a bunch of people were like really upset in the comments. They were like, why would you use this voice when you could tell us the story yourself? Like we could see this on Instagram. I feel like, I don't know why they were hostile. Maybe I didn't give it enough of a shot. But I feel like maybe it's a parasocial thing where like people got used to like me. Who knows?
Yeah. That's so interesting. Okay. Dang, so you built that brand.
Because, like, Jack, imagine if you just took your entire personality out of it. Like, it would be a drastically different page and less interesting.
It's weird for me because my content isn't the type that goes like mega viral, because one, I'm like speaking English, like I have like a specific like look and voice, but like I know if I made it like that, like with the text to voice, they might go more viral. And if I made them shorter, they might go more viral. And that's because they're more universal. But it's just like, I feel like I'm not building that personal brand that like a lot of us are like striving for. Like, and the reason I think the personal brand is important is because like, I want people to be like, oh, I like this guy so much. And like, I like how he like talks and like his emotions and stuff, that like I go to his YouTube channel, like watch what's there, like go to his Instagram, like see what he's posting, you know, like watch his podcast, you know. That's kind of the idea there. But so are you like happy with the fact that like you've built like a parasocial relationship, or you're starting to build one on TikTok? Like where do you kind of see yourself like taking that?
I definitely am, and I didn't think I would. I felt really uncomfortable behind a camera at first. I thought it was weird. I felt kind of like concerned about how I look more than I did before, which was kind of annoying. But then I definitely got used to it. I started really liking it, and it was really fun to like get credit, I guess. Like, obviously I didn't write these Wikipedia articles. I do edit, but I don't like make pages just to post them. So for people to be like calling me by name and like realizing that like I'm hand curating this, like it's not just like a anonymous machine, that was fun. And people would say like, oh, Annie, you're gonna really like this, and that was better than someone just like sending a link with no explanation. So I definitely have enjoyed like being more I don't know, like public with my identity, I guess.
So do you have a podcast, yeah, and you have a newsletter. So that kind of writing, is it more like just the articles and like a little bit of commentary, or like are you putting like a lot of your own voice into those?
The podcast is like me talking to my friends, but with a little bit more structure. It's like about an article every week. It's called Depths of Wikipedia, the podcast, but it's not like super structured, and it's definitely like a lot of personality. The newsletter, I say that I'm writing it. I'm like curating everything. It's got kind of a narrative form, and there's just like a bunch of articles and fun facts sprinkled in it. But I wouldn't ever say in my newsletter, like, hey guys, just got back from the gym and I'm writing about this now. Like, it feels a little bit more like professional than that.
You're building a whole like Khan Samir put out this video a month ago or so called like Disneyfication of the Nelk Boys. And basically what they were talking about is like when you look at Disney, right, like they have the theme parks, but then they also have like the movies that assist like the toys. Like it's kind of this whole web that all fit together. You're like doing the same in a sense, right? Like there's Depths of Wikipedia, the Instagram account, but I already also saw on the bio, like you have Depths of Amazon and Depths of Craigslist, right? You have the podcast, you have like the newsletter, you have like you're also on multiple platforms. I can only like, how are you monetizing all of this? Like I can only assume like things are going pretty well.
Like yes and no. I think that the problem with like being a brand that's kind of like a barnacle on a bigger brand, which is Wikipedia, is that like I have to worry about what Wikipedia thinks. And I know a bunch of staff members there, like they like me, like we're on really good terms. But I definitely wouldn't want to do something that would reflect poorly on Wikipedia or that would like encourage vandalism. Yeah. And then the other thing is like I don't want to profit like crazy off of the back of like volunteers who edit this thing and off of a nonprofit. I just like have this like personal guilt where it's like if I'm like raking it in selling like some like random thing, like it's just money that Wikipedia kind of earned but I'm sort of taking. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. I guess just for me that's a thing. So with my merch, like I give like a big portion back to the foundation. So I'm profiting. I paid off my college debt. But I'm not in it to like.
Congrats.
Thank you. It's really nice. But I'm not in it to like like I don't know, make millions off of this.
That's so crazy. That's like such a high moral like compass with that. Like I know so many people who wouldn't give a shit at all. They'd be like,
yeah, literally like there were people when Snapchat Spotlight was a thing. There were like people like making like accounts called like Jack Neel 123 and just like reposting all my content to get this like spotlight checks.
Yeah,
and like. Weird stuff like that, and like people who like post like the click the link in my bio and get $750 on Cash App, and like you like type in your emails, like all the surveys. There's some scammy stuff out there, but so like scammy. That is more righteous than I would consider myself. I feel like I would have been tempted to take a brand deal or two.
I still do like ads here and there. I still like sell merch. I'm trying to think. Yeah, mostly just like ads and merch, I guess. But
would you consider? Are you running the Depths of Amazon and Depths of Craigslist pages?
I run both of them with my friend. She does a lot of like she sifts through DMs for me on those. And posts. Cool. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you got a little team behind you too. Yes. This is I'm excited to ask you about like why you aren't like thinking about making this a personal brand in the future. But before that, would you consider profiting a ton like off Depths of Amazon? Like, Amazon's making money.
Like, you're like, that's fine. I don't feel bad for Bezos. Like, that's fine. Yeah. Like, we have, like, swipe up links and stuff.
Okay, that's cool. What would you say is your like high, like where's your, what's the highest, what makes the, what am I trying to say?
What makes the most money?
Yes. Which like revenue, what percentage?
Merch right now is just like the most reliable because brand deals are harder to like come by in terms of like actual like money per like, I don't know what I'm saying. Cut that. Sorry.
Yeah, keep going. Keep rolling.
I think brand deals are like so amazing, but they're just like harder to find and organize, which is part of the reason why it's nice to have the Bullish team helping me with that type of thing,
Nice.
like partnerships and things like that.
And then I'm assuming.
Yeah, but what I was just gonna say, what Tejas was saying, like I think we're thinking the same thing. Like it seems to me that you're in such an early stage of being a creator, that like maybe like things are like slowly falling into place, and like I'm kind of thinking you might eventually lead toward wanting to build a personal brand.
That's very
you know?
possible because both of you
like,
have a lot
you
more
seem like-
followers on TikTok, and Instagram's just such a different beast. I think I will say Instagram ads pay so much better than TikTok ads. It seems to me, from what I can tell.
But like you seem like excited that like people are like, hey Annie, check out this Wikipedia article, or like the whole dark humor Barty thing. Like when someone like recognizes you, you're like, that's pretty cool. Like, and like you talk about like the DMs you're getting from like and not having to use dating apps anymore. Like it seems like something is forming. You're doing all the platforms. You're like almost building a team in a way behind you. Like I really think it would be interesting to see a TikTok page from you that's like not just Wikipedia possibly, and maybe a combination of like all three Instagram pages, and like just seeing like you kind of like start building those out and like doing your own funny commentary about them, because it seems like people are really loving your personality and are really distraught when you're not implementing it.
That's a good idea. I think about like things that I would make TikToks of if I weren't tied to like this personal brand. And then I like have had this idea before. So now that you've encouraged me, maybe I'll do it. We'll see.
Yeah.
Like, do you think you would change your TikTok username like ever to like something other than Depths of Wikipedia, and like maybe make your profile picture like your face, and like just like it's all about you?
Maybe. I think another option is making a second TikTok. But honestly, TikTok, it's different from Instagram. Like I feel like on Instagram, like if you have your like grid lay, like if you have your followers expecting one type of thing, it's harder to switch. And it seems that on TikTok, it's easier to like pivot your brand and like test things out. So maybe.
That's right. I think you said that you're like what you're building right now is a means of like a stepping stone for something you want to do. Like where do you see yourself in like 12 months? That sounded so interviewy, and I did not mean it to sound like I'm sitting down for an interview, but like, let's go roll with it. Like, where do you see yourself in 12 months?
That's a good question. I feel like I could be happy in a lot of fields, but I like the idea of working in like education and entertainment, which is kind of what I'm doing now. I would be happy working for myself. I would also be happy if like a more stable company could like, you know, like give me a salary and benefits to do a similar thing where it's like get people excited about learning interesting things.
That's it. So would you like what you're doing at Depths of Wiki? Can you see yourself like running this Instagram account for like the next 5-10 years? Like assuming like everything keeps popping off.
Oh yeah, Depths of Wikipedia, the Instagram account is like super sustainable for me. Like it's very fun.
Really?
Yeah.
It's really fun. So you are a creator. You'll be a creator if that's like something you want to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Like maybe not Depths of Wikipedia, just like off your high moral compass. I still think there's opportunity there. Maybe like a partnership with Wikipedia and such. But like I can only imagine what Depths of Amazon could look like, especially you're like, I don't give a shit about Bezos. Like just monetizing that. Like that's you can build a full like fledged job, like a full-time job off that. Like I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is like, I'm not so concerned about profiting off Depths of Wikipedia just alone. I'm more concerned about profiting in a way that like cheapens Wikipedia or like hurts Wikipedia.
Like doing like a Bang Energy deal.
Right.
On Wikipedia.
Like that's just like,
Yeah.
I just feel like it hurts the image just a little bit. And I don't know.
No, I agree.
The coldest water on Depths of
coldest
Wikipedia.
water. what is it about like creating right now that makes you like happy? Because I'm wondering like if it is like utilizing, I don't know. I just want want to understand why not just go full in like in a year. Like I want to build Depths of Wikipedia into a $100 million business, right? And like
I feel like the main reason that I am, I would say, hesitant to do that, definitely not closed off to the idea, but hesitant, is just like
that sounds great.
Like the instability is kind of scary, I guess. Whereas, I don't know, I've been juggling like all these accounts on top of like jobs in school, and it's been fine so far.
Yeah.
So part of me is like, maybe just to be safe, like I should have a job as well.
You need to listen to some Gary Vee. He'll get you to drop everything. Be patient. And no, but okay. No, okay. I see.
So we'll
that.
see. I guess the thing that I like about it is I like to learn all the time. I like to feel like every day there's a new surprise coming. Like to wake up and be like, oh, John Mayer shared my post. Like that's so exciting. I like that every day's different. There's like all these like unexpected thrills. Like that's really fun.
Did that happen?
Yeah, John Mayer's a big fan.
That's so funny.
I'm a big fan of John Mayer.
Yeah, me too.
That's
it was crazy for me. I was like on a high for days.
Yeah.
Did you wake up to this? Like you checked your phone, you're like,
well, yeah, someone
Mayer?
DM'd me that he had shared something, and I was like, oh, and then so I checked, he was following, and I like had to DM him. So I was like, hey John, like huge fan, thanks for following, so excited. And he was
Did
like,
he respond?
Yeah, he was like, hey Annie, like so glad to have found this new follower, but so excited to see what happens next. Something along those lines.
What a guy.
I know.
What a guy. That's so sick.
The best.
How's your mental health with all this? I break down every week.
Oh, great
Jack
question.
breaks down twice a week.
Wow. So it's really like, I feel like social media is definitely good and bad for my mental health. Good in the sense that if I'm feeling a little bit like lonely or whatever, I have so many DMs, and so I can respond to them. And often it's people just being like, hey, there's a fun fact here. But sometimes it's fun to respond and like start chatting, because then you remember that like they're real people, and they might not be like traditionally your friends, but it's like they're there for you in some small type of way, and that's really fun. And the community aspect makes me feel like I'm not alone, which is really great. I think that there's definitely some stress that like social media introduces, like the pressure to perform when you have other things going on. Like sometimes I'll just like be stressed and I'll be like, oh, and I also have this. Or I've said this so many times, but like the fear of saying something that's interpreted the wrong way and everyone turning on you. Like the cancel culture thing, I know everyone talks about it, but like that's something that's scary. Like when I'm putting out like a lot of content, like the odds that something could like hit wrong, even if like I didn't mean it in a terrible way, like that's something that's really scary for me. I just
have you had like experiences like that?
Nothing major, like small comments here and there will say like, oh, this was a little bit offensive, or DMs, but I just worry about it. I wouldn't want to offend anyone. I wouldn't want to like promote anything that's like harmful. So the idea of doing that on accident, it's like very scary. It feels like sudden death.
I'd be careful of the neckbeard incels that might be coming after you after this podcast. But no, I don't want to say it's actually tough, because I always thought like, okay, like I'm pretty good with hate comments and such, and like even the whole idea of being canceled. Like I was like nowhere near canceled, but I did a brand deal with Robinhood like a month or two ago, and like after especially everything happened, like I think I lost like 3,000 followers, and like the comments, like I had the comments turned off on that TikTok, but like they went on like the TikTok before that and like a couple after that. Just like it was crazy. Like I can't imagine that at a scale of like 100x. And like we know some creators who have been canceled, and like it's
stonks dudes are ruthless. Bro.
Those guys are but even like it's insane. I can't imagine what that looks like. I don't know.
Jack, have you ever gotten canceled?
I don't suppose I have. One time I made a video about Nicki Minaj and her plastic surgery, and like that is the most dedicated, diehard fan base. The Barbs, like I received like 40 death threats overnight. Like there was a Nicki Minaj theme page that like posted my TikTok, and they're like, "Come for this guy," and like they did. I was like, am I really gonna have to take this down? Like,
Oh my god.
I did.
That's so funny.
I was like scared. And then I had a video like, I made a video like called like "What Your Height Says About You" for guys, and like made fun of like short dudes, and like a couple people came for me. But then I made a video like "What Your Height Says About You" for women, and made fun of like tall women, and like that video I got like more death threats. But
That's so
I just make true crime content now, and like the only thing I get is like when I'm a little insensitive about it, like with a joke or something, or like it's strange with true crime content because you have to like really focus on the victims more than like the serial killers, and you don't want to like over dramatize it too much because it like appears to be like disrespectful. But that's really all about I've had, not too much. I'm glad that us three are in the green zone.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting too that like there are really two different types of creators. Like one we like to call like idea-based creators, and then relationship-based. Yeah. Like there's people like when I go to Jack's content, right? I'm here to watch true crime, right? When I look at depths of Wikipedia, I'm here to look at like a funny Wikipedia article, right? And that's like those are the ideas I'm coming for. But like there's creators. I mean, it's weird to say this, but like when we watch, I don't know, like relationship based, like a lot of people look up to Emma Chamberlain. Like I look up to Casey Neistat. These people, like I'm somewhat living my life through their life, and so when they say something, like that's where like those like massive.
It feels like your friend.
Yeah,
it's like your friend says that, and you're like,
yep.
And your friend says that to like all your friends. So it's like
sure.
we have to like not be their friend anymore.
Exactly.
It's strange.
And that's when you get the headlines of this person's straight up canceled. Which, like, I love to go into, like, what does canceling even mean? Because most people that have canceled have come back and everything's fine anyway. Right.
Trisha.
Yeah.
Do you watch Trisha?
Uncancelable. Same category as Donald Trump. Like, it's just, like, she clearly doesn't care. So, like, that's the whole point of cancellation. Like, public shaming is the most powerful motivator in human history. And when that doesn't work on someone, it's like, what do you even do then?
What do you do? Right.
I don't know.
You look at Dobrik's.
Trisha and Donald Trump. That's such a good comparison.
Never thought those two names would be in the same sentence, but it was awesome to like get to know what your brand is. Your brand is so different than anything I've seen, and just breaking that down is really cool. So thanks for coming on.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having me. It's fun to like meet both of you. I feel like on TikTok I'm still such a newbie, so it's exciting to talk to people
You're
that
already
have
killing
been
it, like
in the game for longer than I have.
I've been in the game just as long. I think it's just like it's completely different. Even on Instagram, like I look at Instagram, I'm like, there's like no point in me trying to grow on this because there's no like For You page, there's no brand awareness, and to see like your strategies of how you did it, and like the people that are just like following you're crazy. I was looking like Taylor Lorenz follows you, all this stuff. It's so
cool.
Oh
my gosh, wait, Taylor. So cool. And I know each other from before the internet. Like, well, not before it was invented, but like she did an article. And before I even had Depths of Wikipedia, she interviewed me. It was about college online, just random.
Really?
So then since then we've been like buddies. But
that's really cool.
That's random. That's cool. The celebrity thing is really fun to have celebrities follow me. Yeah. And I feel like on Instagram, if someone's following you on Instagram, like they want to see your content. Whereas on TikTok, there's a lot of accounts that I follow, but then I forget about because I don't see them that much.
Yeah, TikTok really only shows you like 20 people. And like most people follow like hundreds and hundreds of people, you know?
Yeah.
I think we've said the name so many times, but Annie, where can people find you?
People can find me on Depths of Wikipedia, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, newsletter, podcast, Depths of Amazon on Instagram, Depths of Craigslist on Instagram. Surface of Wikipedia may or may not be me. It's still up in the air. And I think that's about it. Annie Rao, if you're interested in me personally, I post a lot of like weird opinions about things that no one cares about. Yeah, I think that's about it.
That's just it. That's awesome. About it. No, nothing more. Thanks again for watching the 25 Months podcast. This is awesome. Jack, where can people find you?
People find me?
Yeah. Let's plug you. I feel like we haven't ever plugged you.
At FYP on TikTok, at Jack H. Neel on Instagram, Jack Neel on YouTube.
There we go. We love it. Jack Neel on YouTube.
Depths of Tumblr.
We should start them. That's a successful strategy. But Everyone, I'm at Tejas Hullur. Follow 25 months. Comment below who you want to see. Again, like and subscribe.